your own profession. I mean, you're a qualified accountant. You've changed profession a couple of times. You've had different roles. You've talked about the opportunity that Daily Mail gave you in terms of the first opportunity, first rung of the ladder. And our fathers and parents that used to say, they had lifelong careers, and I think looking at you, Steve, I was trying to count off how many jobs you've had and how many roles you've had. And there's a lot of diversity here in terms of different roles and different job titles and different sectors and so forth. So
absolutely.
How's that worked for you? How's that panned out?
It's an interesting observation, an interesting comment actually, because I think, for me, the skills that you build drive you through your career.
Yeah.
So I became an accountant.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, accountancy was for me, and I joined a business, and I joined sort of Daily Mail, and then I moved into retail, Freeman's Mail Order, and then I moved into data, Reuters business. Yeah. Different industries, but actually the skills were transferable. So building skills that are transferable is important.
Yeah.
So that was my first early part of my career. And then moved into sort of the more commercial world, so moving out of finance and going, well, actually, I'm fed up with month-end, year-end audits, that kind of stuff. It wasn't really me, and I was more entrepreneurial. And obviously, from our background, we are quite entrepreneurial as a kind of community. So therefore, I moved into sort of the bids and tenders into telecoms. Another totally different industry,
completely different.
But actually, the skills I had built from my finance days helped with that. So having that commercial view, having that financial background, they were transferable. And then, moving from then into education, that was more by accident. That was more by an opportunity landed on my desk to say, well, actually, do you want to work at a commercial a private entity called BPP, teaching accountants? And being an accountant, I was like, well, why can't I? I know of BPP. I used to go to their competitor when I trained. Okay. So I was like, okay, I'm giving back something good. Go and work in that education space. That was my first foray into education. But those skills were transferable. So my advice to any young person or anyone who's moving careers, try and build transferable skills. Yeah. Industry knowledge is important, but actually the skills are more important in terms of being transferable. Having a good financial background, having good leadership skills, being able to understand and critically analyze problems, being able to show that you can add value regardless of what industry you're in. Those things are really important. If you can build those, it will always help you. Yeah. But industry, for me, it's kind of irrelevant. However, once you're in those jobs, you've got to build those skills. So you need to have industry relevant experience, and therefore having a good mentor, having a good access to some kind of education that will help you build your knowledge in that industry, in that field, is really, really important. Okay. So how do you do about that?
Canny Conversation Podcast Series 5 by Safaraz Ali.